Because I'm an analog rat, I'm going to use a pen and paper to show you the marketing strategies that I've been thinking about as a musician and why you shouldn't spend your money at big companies. So you get to watch me do it so that you don't have to. See what I mean? Here's the skinny. Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. What do they all have in common besides being some form of media? They have marketing strategies for people who want to be influencers, who want to be musicians, who want to be artists, and who want to make proper money from that, right? Any flavor of this type of group, they have stuff for that, right? So Spotify has a promote feature that is called, there's Marquee and there's Spotlight. And then we have Instagram with the Reels, promote, and you know, paying for verification, things like that. Then you have TikTok with their promote feature for their lives, for their videos. And then you have Snapchat, where you can promote snaps, you can get chat plus or whatever. And these are kind of like the basis of what they do for marketing. Now, you have to pay at least $100 to use the Spotify feature. You have to pay a certain amount to get verified, and you also have to pay for promotion of Reels, and those are varying levels of money. Now, when I say $100, I mean USD. Let's put that there. Then we have TikTok, where promote features can be anywhere from like $7 to $10 to $20 in the typical ads kind of situation where you pick a budget, you pick a day, like how many days you want. So that's like the time period. Then you pick, like, let's say, the audience, and then they run the promotions. They show them to people. Now, what is the other thing that they have in common? They're not the best at getting people's attention if you are one of these people, but they market this to these people, right? So, Nero. Sorry, y'all, you might hear my dog. Now, the reason why I say it's not for these people is because it's more for businesses, in my opinion. Even Spotify, like, you pay $100 to have people listen, and like each click is like what costs something. So if someone sees your music and then clicks on it, that would count as a small percentage of this $100, and you can cancel it anytime. But the thing about it is that you don't really benefit from that much, because as I've seen with the 2 campaigns that I've ran, because I've tested some campaigns just to be sure. I've tested campaigns with promote as well. Now, this is all for research. You don't have to do what I'm doing. But when you test these out, you realize that this is not the model. You don't want to spend your money on this because it doesn't really lead to anything. Like, the biggest part of being one of these 3 things, which is building a community. And it's just very hard to build a community by running ads constantly. There's a few things that I find wrong with that model. One is that people get tired of you easily. So when they see your ad, like, they might like it, but a lot of times they'll hate on it, not really big fans, all that. And I know that weeds people out, but also you don't want to consistently be on someone's page just with like your like promotion, and people are like, ew, no, I don't want to, and they skip over it, not even really listening. Also, there's a weird stigma around ads for some reason, and so that's another thing. And another thing is that it doesn't build community. Like, you'll get clicks and you'll get views and you might get likes, but that doesn't equal this. So how do we translate this into this? Well, I think that the money you spend on Spotify could go towards different ideas. like paying for merch and trying to get that somewhere. Being okay with traveling for shows that may not be the best paying, but is good exposure. You can use this for, you know, upgrading your equipment so that you can do more things that you want to do videos wise. And this applies to influencers and artists too. It may not necessarily be this, like traveling for shows, but you could upgrade your equipment. You could put more into having different mics or hosting community things that you wouldn't typically be able to do if you spent that $100 on Spotify or TikTok or Instagram. The thing is, you just want to make the content that people like, that bring them to your page regardless. And you can strategically use these ads to bring more views to something that's already kind of growing. But I think it can be a waste of money sometimes to go through this model and not really have a goal or a plan. And also, without having this in mind of building a community, having people actually listen to your music, finding your audience, and going from there. It's more like a mid-level thing to start going into these ads. I think starting out and doing this is not the best idea. I'm sorry, I had to clear my throat. But I don't think starting out and doing this is not the best idea. I think trying this first, finding people and going through there, saving your money for things that really matter and really hone your skill and hone your videos and hone your content. And then if you need to, you go into ads. But that's just my opinion. I did test Spotify and TikTok. I did not test Instagram or Snapchat, but I figured that this was a good enough, especially these two being the ones I use the most, would be a good sample size to see what really gets results. And the thing that get results most is just the content that resonates with people, the ideas, the not really necessarily schedules or anything, but just being authentic and doing that has built my community more than anything else. I've gained the most followers and people who like my music from just having my art show up and, you know, people actually look at it and like it and go to Spotify and save it versus, you know, doing a budget and exposing it to some people, because typically this doesn't really translate into this. So that's kind of what I had in mind when I was seeing this and all these ads and promotions and people talking about how to market. I would much rather spend this $100 making free merch and giving it out than doing this. And I think that's the direction that is worth going as a musician, artist, or influencer in 2024. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow.